Welcome to the Veterans Impact Show, where our commitment is to help, hope, and healing of our veteran family and our nation. I'm Jim Blythe, a U.S. Navy veteran and a certified senior advisor. Join us as we continue the mission of leadership and commitment to our communities and our great country. Why, you never know where we're going to go or who you're going to meet. We invite you to join in, plug in, and share in what we do. This is your Veterans Impact Show.
Welcome aboard. What a great day we got. And we've got somebody really energetic and exciting. You are not going to believe how great this one is. I want to introduce my co-host, Cedric White, minister, marriage counselor par excellence. You do marriage counseling for veterans and active duty military. You got to train some people in Hawaii not too long ago.
Yes, that was the hard part of the work that I do.
Yes.
Very difficult time, 2 weeks, very rough.
And you now have graciously let me join your church, Diane and I there. It's amazing what you do and how you focus on the family.
Yes.
It's not about a religion, it's about a relationship.
It's about a relationship.
So I also want to thank DBTV Network for putting us around the world. It is so amazing. We're on Amazon Fire, Roku, Spotify, Apple Play, Google Play. I could have never asked for a better partner, and for AUN TV in Northern California. Also want to thank Fairway, my company, Fairway Independent Mortgage. My MLS number is 311-548. You got to do that to keep the attorneys happy. And our corporate one is 2289. Symbios Integrative Health, where we are doing amazing things for veterans and for first responders, and our Healing Thine Hearts ministry.
Yes, sir.
Which is Cedric. Now, let me introduce, and by way of introduction, let me tell you about a phone call I had. I'm sitting there at my desk working. Actually, I'm working on the sermon I'm going to do for you. And this lady says, "Hi, I'm one of your fans." And I'm like, wow, I got a fan.
We got one.
We got one. No. And she was so energetic and so amazing. And she said, "I have Savannah soldiers and here's what I do." And I was like, wow, that is such a hugely important thing. It means so much to our military. So please, I want you to meet Savannah Maddison of Savannah Soldiers from Nashville, Tennessee. Welcome aboard, Savannah.
Welcome aboard, Savannah.
Hi, Jim and Cedric. Thank you so much for having me today. I'm so excited to be here.
We're excited to have you. And I tell you what, I'm just drinking hot tea right now because I knew if I got coffee, I could get to your level of energy. And that would be great. One of the things that so amazed me, you're 23 years old, correct? That's
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. And you started doing a huge thing for active duty deployed military when you were 10 years old, 8 years
Yes,
old.
sir.
Tell us about that. What motivated you and how did you get it started and where are you today with that?
Absolutely. So when I was in 5th grade, I had a best friend in my class. I lived in South Florida, and her name was Wilson, and we did everything together. We were incredibly close, and her father was in the Army, and I became aware during our 5th grade year that he was going to be deployed to Afghanistan, and it was the first deployment that I watched her family go through, and becoming so close with them and watching that journey really broke my heart. I remember watching her cry on the playground and think about how badly she was going to miss her father. It was really difficult to watch her go through that. And so I was touched by that as a 10-year-old. You really connect with your friends and you want to help them feel better. And my dream was to live in Nashville. I loved music and I wanted to become involved in music. So the story started with me heading up to Nashville with my family. We were on a trip and I got the chance in Nashville at that young age to take a songwriting lesson with an amazing songwriter. And I decided to use that time to write a song for Wilson, my best friend. And we wrote a song about her father and the impact that he would make and how much he's impacted me and her and their family. And I brought it back to her in Florida and I played it for her on that same playground. And I remember being so excited to share it with her and being so just honored to put her story in that song at a young age. And I remember a couple weeks going by and thinking, wow, I'm happy that I did that, but I don't think that it really made as big of a difference as I wanted to make in her life. How could I help her stay connected with her father during this time, and how could I support her family? And she told me that so often, of course, when military members are deployed, they are able to receive letters. And we had learned about letter writing all through elementary school. It was something that was a special part of our day that we got to do. And I said, Wilson, I think you and I should start this project where we write letters to your father and the soldiers in his battalion. And so I thought, again, I was in 5th grade. I didn't know how many soldiers would be underneath him. He was a lieutenant colonel, and there were over 700 soldiers underneath him. So this was a huge undertaking for a 5th grade girl, and I realized really quickly that I was going to need help if we were going to send these encouraging letters to him and the soldiers underneath him throughout the course of this deployment. And so I remember getting on my bicycle and riding around my neighborhood and saying, can you help me? Can you write a letter that's for a soldier, and we really want your support? And my classroom helped me, my school helped me, and we had this really good little project going. And I remember thinking, we need more. So my mom made a post at that time on Facebook, and Facebook had just started, so it was brand new. And I was so lucky and blessed that post went viral on Facebook. And it changed the entire course of my life. We received letters by the thousands to our house in Florida. So we had these huge boxes filled with letters from schools and churches and people that just wanted to help and wanted to help us reach our goal of 700 and supporting them throughout this deployment. And later on that week, I remember it was around the holidays, I got a phone call from the Today Show. And they said, Savannah, we've heard about what you're doing, these letters you're sending, it's gone viral. We want you to be on the Today Show. And so as a 5th grader, I was on the Today Show for the first time, talked about this project, and it changed the rest of my life. The organization went from a small project to a national 501c3 in the course of a couple hours. We expanded across the country. And since then, we've been kind of running to keep up with this amazing mission ever since.
Wow. Now, are you in other cities besides Nashville? You're in Nashville, correct?
Yes, I do live in Nashville now, and I love it here. We've continued the mission here, but it is a national reach now. So we have sent over 350,000 letters to deployed military in every branch from every corner of the country. We're in over 40 states. We've raised incredible funds for military awareness and support and military families and veterans. And I've had the opportunity to travel the country and speak for over 1 million children about why it's important that we support our military and veterans.
Without a doubt. Hey, Jordan, who's my engineer, can you put up Savannah's website so that we can show everybody? And I got to tell you, get your attention when you go through this and doing the letter writing. Now, Savannah, we were talking just before we came on the air. You may not really have understood as a 10-year-old, 5th grader, the importance of what you were doing. You just thought you were sending these guys a letter, right?
Just something nice.
Yeah, just something nice. So Cedric and I were telling you that we've both been deployed during wars. I was Vietnam War. I was on aircraft carriers. Matter of fact, I was with a squadron, and John McCain was one of my pilots. And we were doing 24-hour, 7-day-a-week flight operations in the Gulf of Tonkin. And one of the most important things every day was when the COD came aboard and had mail, and we were able to get a letter from home. Mail call, right,
yes.
Cedric?
It made all the difference in the world.
Yeah,
it really did.
You were in the Gulf.
I did the Mediterranean Sea. I was in the Indian Ocean, and on every cruise, there's at least a 90-day period where you don't get to pull into port. You're 90 days at sea. That's 3 months at sea with nonstop. And on our ship, we may get mail. If it came once a week, that was a good thing. Quite often it would go 2.5, 3 weeks. And when the mail came, if you were one of the lucky guys that received a letter, just one letter would make all the difference in the world. But if you were that guy who did not receive something, it was almost like a stab in the heart, right? Because that's those letters, those cards, that's that connection back to my world, my home, my family, and it says somebody there is thinking of me here. It made all the difference in the world. Really.
Savannah, that's what we called it. The world. We looked at the United States and home more, that's our world.
Yes.
That's more than our home. And the net result of that was you got something from home. Mm-hmm. That's a big deal.
Yes, huge.
So one of the things is, Jordan, did you pull up her website? Can we get it?
Yeah, it was up.
And I just want to, again, tell everybody, go to Savannah Maddison has spoken, and that's your book, right? Sincerely Your, okay? And it's really incredible what you did. And you're now in 40 states. You raise funds. So in your website, is there a donate button? I don't remember going through it.
Yes, and we love for people to donate, but the thing that we need most, right, is we have this constant demand for letters. And so if you have like a school or an organization or a church that you're a part of, and you have a group of people that would be willing to participate in this, you please do so, because as they said, it really makes a huge difference to feel that connection to home. And thank you both for saying that to me, because it does mean the world to hear that. We've gotten so many letters back from military members over the years that have just shared that, in their darkest moment, away from home, away from their families, that this letter is their connection and helps them feel seen and appreciated. And I have never experienced that. I've never been deployed, but hearing that back, it means the world to me and the world to people that have taken the time to write these letters. It's really the impact and the goal we want to make. And I love the impact of your show too, to provide hope and healing. I feel like this mission really does that.
Yes, it really does. And one of the things I think, and I got to tell you, I just had eye surgery, so I couldn't read.
Neither of us. Diana was reading to us.
Yeah,
Neither of us could read.
We couldn't read. You got a year by year, but I believe you also now work with veterans homes with the elderly, veterans as well. How did that come about?
Sure. So every year, and thank you for looking at my breakdown, because I feel like it's really special to go back and reflect on everything that's happened over the past, 12 years of my life. It's really changed my life and been incredible. And one big thing that obviously occurred was COVID. And it was difficult to get mail out during that time. There was a lot of restrictions for safety, of course. We had to really pivot and figure out new ways that we could impact the community and really continue our mission during such a difficult time. And I became involved with the Vietnam Veterans of America Association. That was an incredible partnership that I was able to kind of open up this door to explore not just supporting our active duty military, but our veterans, which are just as important. And it really opened my eyes to so many different ways that the community can get involved. And one of those things is volunteering at a local veterans home. And we have many veterans homes in Tennessee. So last year, our mission that we took on was visiting every veterans home in our state, and also some veterans homes beyond our state. And we want to expand this even further. But what we do, and actually I just did this last week, I was at Humboldt, our Tennessee State Veterans home in Humboldt, Tennessee, and it was incredible. We bring music and letters, and we sing for the veterans, we perform for them. It is such a blast, and just a way to come in and show, hey, we appreciate you. And it is sad because there's many veterans in these homes that don't have a connection to family and maybe feeling alone or lost. And so to be able to come in and say, hey, we have not forgotten about you. We've not forgotten about your service, the impact it made, and we want to bring you this day of joy and continued support from our organization. It truly means a lot, and I love spending time with them.
Boy, I hope you can get connected with our new Secretary of the VA. He is a veteran, and he is actually a chaplain and is currently a National Guard chaplain. So he might say, you know what, this is something the VA needs to support.
Yes.
And by the way, we'll ship you around. Because
we would love that. Yes, absolutely.
I think one of the other things, one of my closest friends in Dallas is Chuck Wright, who is a commissioner with the Texas Veterans Commission. And he started a campaign on his own. And I told him about what you're doing. He blew away. He was buying huge things of Valentine's cards to send to all of the VA facilities in the state of Texas for the retired. I mean, what you guys are doing is so incredible. Now, do you actually have names and addresses, or do you send it to the command and let them distribute it? How do you do that?
Yes, sir. So we do send it to the command and we let them distribute. We found that that's most successful. Actually, we've worked with many chaplains, and that has been an incredible resource for us. We also partner with like family readiness officers and different. It really just depends on that unit and what they're looking for in terms of support throughout the year. And so we've partnered with a million different ways to get our letters to their final destination and figure out who needs that support. And so yes, it's been definitely difficult. There's been times where we've thought, oh my goodness, how are we going to reach this unit? And there always seems to be a way that our team is able to figure out how we can connect.
You know, if you work at it enough, you'll find somebody that can help you. I'm with Navy League, and we sponsor a minesweeper that's in Bahrain, and we send them gift packages all the time. And they say it's the biggest hit when the package comes from Navy League Dallas. And we also partner with VR-59, which is a Navy logistics transport. They carry our packages overseas. So these things are huge. And let me tell you, as you're coming up, Valentine's, getting things like Valentine's out, Easter can get out, Memorial Day,
Mother's Day, Father's Day.
Yeah, Mother's Day, Father's Day. All right, we're going to go to a break, and we're going to continue this energetic, fantastic conversation with this very beautiful young lady who is amazing. Now, I want to get to be your best friend, because if I live long enough, you're going to be the next president of the United States that's a lady, okay? I mean to tell you, we need more people like you, and don't everybody goes, wow, the next generation, not cool. This generation is, I'm telling you.
Right.
So, Savannah, we're going to be right back, so stay with us. This is Veterans Impact Show. I'm Jim Blythe, Cedric White. We're here for you. We're here to bring you help, hope, and healing.
Yes, sir.
And that's what it's all about, making sure that the military family is taken care of and intact, making sure our veterans are taken care of. This is Veterans Impact Show. Welcome back, and thanks to our great sponsors, Fairway Independent Mortgage, Healing Thine Hearts Ministry, and Symbios Integrative Health. Now, let's get back to this conversation.
Well, welcome back. I'm Cedric White, co-host of the Veterans Impact Show, here with the host, Jim Blythe, the man above most men, anyway. And we have a guest today here.
Wait a minute, you're 6'3". I'm only 6 foot.
I'm talking in character and personality. All right.
Talking about me being a character? Yeah, that's true.
We have as a guest today a wonderful young lady, Savannah Maddison of Savannah Soldiers. Savannah, you said something at the beginning of the show. You talked about, first you used the word lucky, and then you changed it and said, I'm blessed to do this. And that really touched me, because this is literally a blessing, and even more so to have a heart at such a young age, and to have that heart to not just think about it, not just feel it, but then to act upon it. Because a lot of people think about a lot of good things they envision, but you took it to the next step. I think that's a wonderful thing. Let me commend you for doing that and continuing. It wasn't just a one-time thing. So we commend you for that.
Now, in signing up people around the United States to carry the mantle of what you're doing, do they need to go to your website? How do they contact you? What's the best way?
Yes. Okay. So please visit our website because we have a million different resources on there depending on how you want to get involved. If you're a teacher and you want your classroom to write letters, we have amazing printouts that you can use. We have coloring sheets. If you have little children that may not be able to write yet, we would love to still involve them in the mission. I don't think you're ever too young to make a difference. And so we have all kinds of resources that we would love for them to see. Or if they're another type of organization and they want to know how to get further involved, please fill out a contact form on our website and our team will reach out to you. I come all over. I do speaking engagements. I'd love to talk to you and your organization.
Savannah,
excuse me, brother.
No, I'm sorry. I was just going to say, Jim mentioned earlier that my wife and I, we were able to go to Hawaii. I don't know if you go to drug rough places like that, but would you be interested to go to Hawaii to speak to some soldiers there or something like that? It's just a thought.
Are you kidding? Yes, sign me up. Absolutely.
Why do I get the feeling that if Greece and Rota Spain and all of that came up, Savannah would be like, I'm on the way.
Yes.
I'm on the way. You also, a buddy of mine has been very heavily connected. I don't know if you've ever connected with USO. Have you ever connected?
No.
Okay. I think we can get you connected with USO at the top because I know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy. And I think that would be great if maybe you got to go on a USO tour with some of the other entertainers and professionals.
That would be great.
Now, you also sing. You are with a talent agency there in Nashville. Tell us a little bit about that, please.
Yes. So like I said, music kind of kicked off this journey for me, and it's been something that I've been involved in from such a young age. I just have always had a passion for singing and for playing guitar. I play piano and writing music, and it's just been such a natural form of self-expression for me. I love it, and I've always loved it. And so being able to still incorporate that in this mission has meant a lot to me. I think it's so powerful and such an honor anytime I get to sing the national anthem of our country. And I have had the opportunity to do that consistently throughout the years at various military ceremonies, at a ton of professional sporting events. And that has meant a lot to me to be able to have that moment and honor America. And so I love doing that. I incorporate many national anthem performances into my schedule every year because I think it is a great way to honor those who have served and died for this country. And so, yes, I love to sing, and I love to be able to incorporate that into the work we do at Savannah Soldiers.
God, that would be a ball. I'll connect. I can connect you with Navy League because I'm on the board of Navy League Dallas. Also, I'm involved with a deal called Our Community Salutes. And what Our Community Salutes does is it honors, the young men and women who are signing up and going in the military twice a year. So those who graduate in January get a ceremony. Those who graduate in May or June get a ceremony. And they walk across the stage, get a challenge coin, but they're honored for joining the military. What we found is these high school kids who are going into the military, most of them didn't get very many honors and sometimes not very much recognition. So what this is doing is giving them recognition. I can't think of anything better than to have you sing the national anthem. At the OCS events here in Dallas, I do the invocation, and we got a young lady about your age who sings. You two gals might make one tremendous duet. It'd be something else. Now, do you have any albums or recordings that we can get, and where would we get them?
Yes, absolutely. I'm so proud. One of my favorite songs I've written and recorded, I know I mentioned originally writing a song for Wilson when I was 10. I was able to kind of redo that song at an older age. I was 16, and it's called Soldier's Daughter, and it is available everywhere. It's available on Spotify, Apple Music, and you can listen to it. It really, I feel like it encompasses the mission that we have to promote and highlight the military children, military families, and so it's really powerful, and it's one of my favorite songs. I'd love it if they'd take a listen.
I'll tell you where another organization you ought to connect with, and I may have a connection there, is Snowball Express. Snowball Express honors Gold Star children. In other words, a child whose mother or father was killed in action or was killed in the military overseas or even killed in the United States. And I have been involved, not now, it moved to Gary Sinise down in Orlando, but I was involved with it here, and we filmed it and interviewed a lot of people. And these young people have lost a parent in the military. And I would think that you would be such a great inspiration to these young people to hear what you've done. I would just go, wow, man. So let me see if I can connect with Gary Sinise and say, Gary, you got to have this gal on. She's something else. All right, we're going to take another break to hear from our sponsors. So again, I want to thank Fairway Independent Mortgage, Symbiosis Integrative Health, where we help veterans heal, and Healing Thine Heart Ministries. In your great book, The 4 T's, I'm telling you, it's worth it. So
get your copy of that.
Yeah. When we come back, we're going to tell you how to get a hold of Cedric and I. You can send an email to jim@veteransimpactshow.com, or you can call me, 214-502-4600. You know, I put that number out, and a beautiful young lady calls me. Wow, what energy. This has been a real trip. So we're going to be right back after these words from all of our partners. This is your Veterans Impact Show. We're here for you. Welcome back, and thanks to our great sponsors, Fairway Independent Mortgage, Healing Thine Heart's Ministry, and Symbiosis Integrative Health. Now, let's get back to this conversation. This is really terrific. Again, we want to introduce Savannah Maddison. Savannah soldier. She started this 501c when she was 5th grade, 10 years old. Man, I couldn't think past the baseball diamond at 10 years old. I would like to say also, Cedric, your perspective on military families and military marriages, give us some of your thoughts about what this does for them, what this does for the family. And then I want to ask you, Savannah, if you script those letters or do you let them do anything they want? I'd like to find out a little more about that. But Cedric, what about this in terms of the military family?
Well, the effect that it has on that deployed soldier is indescribable. Right? It's one thing to receive something from a loved one that you know, but to know that there's even somebody else, another organization that has me, right? Because when it comes to me directly, okay, you have this organization that I don't know, has me in mind. Somebody else literally cares, right? Somebody else literally is mindful and thankful of the service, the sacrifice that I'm making for my country. And it means a whole lot. And it also raises the morale of the soldiers, the sailors, the airmen that are out there. It literally can change a period of feeling so alone to a period of, okay, things are not near as bad as I thought they were. Why? Just because I got a card, I received a letter, it can change the entire dynamic. It really can.
Cedric, thank God we're not in a war like Vietnam.
Yes.
Because Vietnam was such an unpopular deal. And basically, any connection to home was a huge connection.
It reduces that feeling of isolation.
Yeah.
I mean, you can be my ship had 685 men on it, but those times when I did not get a letter during mail call, right, it was okay as long as mail call didn't happen. But when mail call happened, and then there was nothing for me, then that was a whole different level of feeling isolated. But when there was, and soldiers and sailors can be sort of mean. If you got something and somebody else didn't get something, then but when everyone can get something, right? Your name is called during mail call. It makes all the difference in the world.
Now, my mother knew what to do to make me the most popular guy on the aircraft carrier. She would make care packages. And one time she sent me a care package and I opened it and here's this big tin can and box, and I opened it and the fumes just about knocked me down. It was a rum cake. And she had soaked that cake in rum. So let me suggest, don't send a rum cake. But another thing you could do that is huge, and this is what we do in Navy League, send care packages, especially when you get to the holidays and Christmas time.
Yes.
It's one thing to have a word, but something to have a care package, maybe with some cookies, some crackers, some candies, something that guys and gals can enjoy. And I got to tell you, if you get people organized to doing that, that will be amazing. Now, the other thing I was going to ask you, because I was kind of curious, do you help people to frame the letter? Do you provide templates? Do you provide anything, or do you just freewheel it, say whatever you write goes? Can you explain that?
Yes, that's a great question. Well, our impact and what we're really hoping to do is bring a positive moment to the stressful situation that they are in when they're serving overseas. And so what we aim for is that every letter has positive content, that it is encouraging, that it's grateful. We encourage kids when they write to tell them about yourself and your life and your pets, and just give them a moment of home is really what that goal is. And so to do that, it has to be positive content. So we really encourage that it's positive. We encourage them to sign, their name, but of course, not put any personal information, just because we always want to be aware that anything can be intercepted. And so we really want to make sure that that both sides are protected there. And so, yes, and then we have them address it however they like. They can put Dear Soldier, Dear Airman, Dear Hero, if they'd like, whatever that looks like for them, and just be able to make it their own, make it personal, and help that connection be fostered.
Do any of these people, when they get a letter, they've got an address and they've got a name, do they start corresponding back and forth? Do you find that happening?
We get so many responses. So we make sure that we put in every box of letters or whatever that looks like, any package that we send, that this is from Savannah Soldiers. This is our email. If you receive this and you want to reach out to us or have more information about exactly where the letters came from, we would be very proud to provide that. So we'll often put, if a school adopts our project, that this is from, this elementary school or this high school. And so often it allows that group to be able to acknowledge that school specifically. Actually, right behind me right now, I think you can see it. This was a special preschool class that wrote letters, cards, the teachers to a specific group, and they sent this picture back. And
well, show us the picture.
We're so touched by that.
Hold up the picture. Is that it right there? We see it in front of the American flag. Isn't that beautiful?
It is beautiful.
That is great. So you're also, Savannah, you're instilling in these school-age children a sense of patriotism to support our military. Wow.
Yes.
Savannah,
let me tell you, Jim. Oh, go ahead.
No. Go ahead, please.
I was going to say that when I was in fifth grade, without having a really direct family connection to the military, I did not know about the impact of military or what that they did. I didn't understand. I didn't think there was a war going on, because that's not something that as a child you hear about. I think that children are a little bit protected and shielded from the reality that there are individuals that are giving their lives overseas, right? And I think that there's very age appropriate and great ways that we can approach those conversations for younger populations like me, and inspire 10-year-olds, 9-year-olds, 8-year-olds to start projects where they're supporting their local veterans homes, start writing letters to our military members. But I agree with you that it's definitely not something that we have approached enough as a country.
Without a doubt.
Let me ask you, Savannah, do you have one or two stories of responses that you've received from military personnel that really stand out in your mind? Do you have something that comes to mind that these guys really showed their gratitude and appreciation?
Yes, one that was so impactful. And I've always thought, going back and forth, that the letter is very personal. And it didn't occur to me when I was younger that the letters would be shared. I thought, okay, they would go to one, soldier, one military member, and that was it. And they'd maybe package it up and put it away. But I learned very quickly that oftentimes these letters written by these kids are so cute. There's misspellings, there's silly things, there's jokes, that they're shared. And I loved that. And one specific instance, I believe it was a naval group of soldiers that were, Oh my goodness! Please remind me how I say
Sailors.
how I dress.
Sailors. You're okay.
Naval
Sailors.
Yeah, you're all right.
Oh my Lord, thank
Naval
you. I
guys,
just blinked. A group of sailors, and they were awesome that we were supporting throughout the year. And as they got our boxes of letters, they actually taped them to the walls of their mess hall.
Wow.
And so the sailors were able to walk by and read all these different letters, and the wall just grew and grew throughout the deployment. So that was really special. And that's
That's
one. And then another story that really touched me was our original battalion under my best friend's father. They had a really stressful day. They had multiple instances where they were out patrolling and there was an IUD that went off, and thankfully no one was injured, but it did cause, much chaos and a lot of fear, and it was a really bad day. And they were all so stressed, and the mail came during that time. And I remember him talking about how there was this just sense of chaos, that everyone was kind of walking around and trying to get their things done and not really taking a moment, and that this box came and they opened this box of letters and passed them out, and there was this like peace that swept over the room, and all you could see were their heads down reading their mail, and every person in the room had something to read. And I thought that was such an impactful story, and really, I mean, that moment alone I think makes everything worth it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was a 10 moment without a doubt. Okay, you've got a book. Wow. And it's Sincerely Yours, is that right? Or Sincerely You? Sincerely You. Tell us about your book and where can we get it?
Yes, sir. So in visiting all these schools, I always wanted to leave something behind. I remember thinking, I get to spend a couple minutes with these kids and talk to them about our service members. I get to impact them in small ways, but I really want to leave something with them that they can have forever and that they can refer back to and remember the service and the sacrifice and read about my story and how it impacted my life. And so I started the process of writing my book when I was young. I was 14, and I just thought, let me start this project. And it took a couple of years. We pitched it to multiple publishers, and it ended up getting picked up by the grace of God through Random House, which is a very large international publisher, and it was a huge blessing. And they partnered with Penguin, so it became a Penguin Random House book. And as a 16-year-old writing this, that was the most incredible thing. I could not believe that they wanted to publish my work. So now it's out, and it's available everywhere. You can get it at Barnes & Noble, Walmart, Target, online, on their Penguin Random House website, on my website. It's all over the place, and it talks about my story and hopefully inspires youth to start their own service projects and make a difference in their communities.
Wow.
I'd be willing to bet you got an A+ that year in English.
That's wonderful.
And do you find that your classmates, people who know you, you're in college now, aren't you? Is that right?
Yes.
What are you studying, if I may ask?
Sure. I'm in the Master's of Business Administration program at Belmont University in Nashville.
Okay.
Yeah, great school. You find people find out about you, they're as inspired, they want to, wow, I want to do something, or wow, I want to join Savannah Soldiers. Do you find that personal contact, because you're one of the most personable young ladies I have ever met?
Thank you. I hope so. And it's something that I'm so passionate about. So it's really easy for me to talk about it and kind of spread this mission. And that's why I encourage people to find what they're passionate about when I speak, because that is truly, I believe it's a gift from God. It's something put on your heart for a reason, a mission that you're called to. And so to act on those passions is one of the most amazing things you can do in your life. And I try to, emulate that every day. And I know I seem like I'm on like 6 cups of coffee, but I'm on like passion, and I'm ready to go at any time. And so
Cedric, when I talked to her the first time,
Right.
I thought to myself, I'm going to have 6 cups of coffee just to keep up with her.
It's a beautiful energy, though.
Isn't it?
It is.
Isn't it?
It comes across, and it comes across as sincere.
I'm also curious. You are so composed, so articulate. Have you been involved in beauty pageants? Because you said you put on a junior, like for elementary school age children, beauty pageant. So you've been involved in some of that?
Yes. I feel like my entire life I've always been comfortable. I've had this gift in front of people, and I'm really grateful for that because from a young age, it really allowed me to communicate this message and achieve the levels of success the organization has achieved. I don't know that that would have been possible without the media partners that we had. So from a young age, the first major appearance I had was literally the Today Show, and that was life changing. And so to go on this media tour, I feel like I got very comfortable in front of cameras and people, and that has been a really big strength of mine since then. And so I decided, actually, when I enrolled in Belmont, I was 17, that I wanted to compete in a pageant. And I competed in a little pageant called Miss Middle Tennessee through the Miss America organization. And it was like the first step if you ever want to be Miss America, right? And so I did that. I was surprised to win my first ever pageant. I couldn't believe it. And I went on that year to compete at Miss Tennessee. And that year I was second runner up at Miss Tennessee. I won a ton of scholarships. I was so grateful for that. So I've actually gone back to Miss Tennessee a couple times. And listen, I've been second runner up twice and first runner up twice. I was first runner up last year. So I'm hoping that this is my year at Miss Tennessee and I'll get to go to Miss America.
Hey, wouldn't that be great? I tell you what, you'd have the support of the United States military.
That's right. That's for sure. That's for sure.
That may carry a whole lot of weight. Where to? You just mentioned part of that, where you want to go to that pageant. What's your 5-year plan? What's your 10-year plan? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do?
Sure. Well, we have a huge goal at this organization. We want to reach 1 million letters. I think we're working our way there and we're getting there, but that's a huge goal of ours. And it's been really cool to celebrate every milestone on the way there. And so we're almost halfway to that goal. And I hope within the next 5-10 years that we will reach that and that the mission will just, take off. So I'm really hopeful for that. And I'm very excited about that. And then really this is my entire life. I love this work that I get to do. I love working with kids and it's been amazing. So really I see myself continuing this journey and reaching new milestones, new heights, creating new partnerships with this organization. Everything that you've mentioned on this call, Jim, I pray it comes true because I would love to be more involved with the USO and the other organizations that you mentioned. We would love to do that. Well,
I got to tell you, you are living your dream, and that's one of the most exciting things. And I got to tell you the truth, I'm living mine. Because at 16, I started doing radio in Dallas, and I did Armed Forces radio on the aircraft carrier. I got away from it for many years, but I came back about 10 years ago. And I got to tell you, it doesn't matter how old you are, whether you're 10 years old
right.
or
older.
Yeah. Vietnam, I've sort of dated myself there for sure.
Madison, can I ask you, because you started at such a young age, are you mentoring any young people to do like what you're doing, to come up behind you, follow on, anything like that?
Yes, I feel like children have been at the core of our mission. We've worked with, people of all ages, and it's so amazing that a letter is so unifying because anyone can write a letter or participate in this. It's a really simple human thing that we do anyways to show love and connection. And so it really spans across all age ranges, and I'm really proud of that. But I feel like children in the next generation are essential to the future of support in our military and our veterans. And we are in such a critical time right now to reach youth and to make sure that they know there will not be more World War II veterans, right? And so it's important that we're reaching those populations and making sure that we have the ability to make an impact before there are no more veterans from those wars. And so I think that's incredibly important. And I also think that they are going to be the future employers of veterans and the future supporters, creators of organizations that support our active duty military and military families. And so I think that children are the backbone of this organization, and we need to reach more youth.
Absolutely. So when we come back, we're going to wrap up with Savannah. This is Veterans Impact Show. We've brought you more energy than the Energizer Bunny ever dreamed of. And I think it's really great. So we'll be right back after these words from all of our partners. This is your Veterans Impact Show.
Welcome back, and thanks to our great sponsors, Fairway Independent Mortgage, Healing Thine Heart's Ministry, and Symbios Integrative Health. Now, let's get back to this conversation.
Cedric, have you ever seen so much energy?
No.
Oh,
no,
God.
I need a nap.
Okay, one more thing that you're doing that blew me away. You were a volunteer firefighter. Somehow, Savannah, I can't see you picking up a hose and running up a ladder, but you're getting to work with a lot of veterans in something that really brings everybody together. Tell us very quickly about your being a volunteer firefighter.
Sure, and I agree with you. I know I don't look like a stereotypical firefighter. It's not something that I actually ever saw myself becoming involved in. But 2.5 years ago, I went out on a limb. I wanted to try something different, and I decided to join the support team at my local volunteer fire department, thinking that I could start by just helping firefighters and becoming involved in supporting our first responders. But I fell in love with it, watching what they do. It was incredible. And I told myself, I have nothing to lose. Let me just try the Fire Academy. And I joined our Fire Academy class. I was very proud to graduate, surprisingly, at the top of my class. And I was able to become a firefighter and then subsequently become an advanced EMT. And I was appointed as the public information officer for my fire department. And so now I get to continue the mission that I do through Savannah Soldiers, but also on the first responder side by going into schools and speaking on behalf of the department, and also, of course, responding to emergencies. I've had incredible experiences. I was awarded the Star of Life recently for saving the life of a man in cardiac arrest from a bee sting. And I did that in a dress and heels because I was on my way home from church. So that was really cool. And I also recently got to deliver a baby. So it's really changed my life and has been a huge passion.
Okay. Do you have...
It's time for another book.
Wow, that's
Time for another book.
Okay, so let me ask you, you thought about possibly doing some time in the military because you've got so much to offer. I think it would be incredible. Have you thought about that?
Yes, I have. I thought about that so much. Actually, recently, a huge country music artist that I'm a big fan of, Craig Morgan, he joined, and it was incredible. They did it at the Grand Ole Opry, and I got to watch that, and I thought, wow, what an incredible thing that he has lived this life and done all these things, and now is joining, and I thought that was amazing. So I've definitely thought about it, and I appreciate that encouragement. I think that's something one day that I could do.
I got to tell you, you got two Navy vets here. We always pull for the Navy because we get to take our chow hall with us. And I think the Navy's training is superior. It's really superior. And because a lot of people don't know, and this goes way back to before I was in Millington, Tennessee, twice for training. One of the things is they develop programs in Millington, Tennessee, with the University of Tennessee to train teachers how to teach. That's what I think is so amazing about the military and what they're doing. And now the U.S. Army right now has got a program that I think is just amazing that the Navy has adopted to be able to take young kids who can't qualify to get in the military because of academics, and they've got a remedial teaching program.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, and it's a 90-day program. The Army and the Navy are doing this. I don't think the Air Force needs it because they're all got their head in the clouds. That's a joke. Marine Corps, you don't need anything, man.
They need a crayon.
Crayons. Yeah.
We love our Marines.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you say, oh, I don't know what to call you, and we said sailors, hey, if you'd said squid, I'd have known you'd been around somebody from the Marine Corps. Savannah, this is truly amazing. And I think if you went into the military, went in as a communication officer, something of that nature, you could make some fabulous inroads and things that you could do to help our American military. But most of all, one of the things is I really like about what you're doing is going into the elementary schools, talking to these kids about letter writing, and that's personal that you're able to do that, which gives these children a connection to the military.
Yes.
I've been asked many times to speak in elementary schools, young kids. young kids today don't get a chance to know very
Right.
many veterans.
Right. Not only that, Jim, but real quick, Savannah, the fact that you are writing a tangible letter as opposed to a text, as opposed to an email, right? This is something that I get to hold in my hand, like the guys that put it on the wall on the mess deck. Makes all the difference in the world. I'll say it again.
Absolutely. It means a great deal.
It does. It does.
And I think without a doubt, you've been anointed and inspired by
Yes.
God to do what you're doing. So my hat's off to you. Again, go to savannahsoldiers.org. Is that right? Or .com? I can't remember.
It's .org. You got it perfect. SavannahSoldiers.org.
Yeah. Hey, how about that? Go there. If you want to donate, contact her. If you want to set up, you want to do some letter writing, you're a school teacher and you got kids, you want them to write a letter to a veteran in a veteran's home, to an active duty deployed. Let me tell you, we got a few thousand people around the world that could use those letters. So let's help her to get to 1 million.
Yes.
I want to say thank you again
Thank
so
you,
much, Savannah, for being on board with Cedric and I. You can contact me at jim@veteransimpactshow.com. That's jim@veteransimpactshow.com. We've got a website, veteransimpactshow.com. We're posting things. We're getting ahead of the game. We're going to have some more great programs. I think I've got a really exciting program coming up next time you're going to like, from Gus Karbakis, who is a New York City firefighter, who was an Army veteran, who really helps veterans today get the benefits and get the things they need and connect here in Texas with combined arms across the nation. If you send me a letter, I'll get you in contact with Savannah as well. So if you want to do something for children, if you want to do something for veterans, you want to do something for your military, contact Savannah. Thank you. So Cedric, let's close with a prayer. Would you do that, please?
We'll do that. Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this program. We thank you for those who you've given a vocation like Savannah. Lord, let them continue moving forward to help our military, to help our veterans, to help our country. And Father, help us to be a country that is one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. In Christ Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Savannah, it's been a breath of fresh air. Gosh, thank you so much for calling. And from around the world, we hope that you hear people writing you letters that say, we really appreciate, because we are now around the world with DBTV, and we want you to share in some of that success. So thank you. God bless you. Have a great day.